Hi guys. Welcome back. If you're returning, if you're looking and you're watching these videos, um, so today I want to talk about another scary story. As I said, I was going to be talking about scary stories. I was going to be saying scary stories, just like things that I've have experienced and things that I've experienced working with people, things like that. That's what I'm going to be talking about. But not for today. It's just going to be one story. So if you're wondering about the rest of the stories, just keep watching my videos. I'm gonna keep talking about this stuff, but I'm gonna keep reaching out to whoever needs help out there because people need help. People need help when it comes to this stuff because people don't know how to defend themselves. People don't know what to do, and I'm here to tell you that it's okay. Just because yes, it is true that things like in the movies happen. Yes, it is true that people get possessed. Yes, it is true that people get haunted the way they do in the movies. I'm here to tell you that it's okay, that it's fine, because guess what? I'm here to help you. So if you need help, contact me. Reach out to me in my social media or something, and I will help you. I don't need to be there to help you out. I just need to know some stuff about you and things like that. We'll talk about that if you ever do ask for help. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just like oh, I'm being haunted, or I'm freaking I'm possessed, my husband's possessed, my spouse, my daughters, or someone's possessed. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be like, oh, I need help with money issues, open up pathways, and I need to get rid of this witchcraft, things of that nature. So anyways, back to my story. Oh, and if you're wondering what this is a big piece of black tourmaline, however you say it, but this is black tourmaline, and it is very powerful when it comes to protecting yourself from evil. Now, this one I got it because it called out to me when I was at a crystal shop, and this just called out to me, and I was like, oh, I need to take it, so I bought it. And now this one over here is amethyst. And now I love amethyst because I'm a healer. I heal people with by moving energies and moving energies with my hands and stuff like that. So if you need help with that in that sense, you need help because you have pain or someone's sick or something, I can help with that too as well. But this is amethyst. It's nature is pretty much healing, and it's just something that's beautiful, something to look at, very beautiful, but it's also very powerful. Now, back to the story. So, when I was little, I always experienced stuff. As I said in my last video, I've always experienced stuff, and I didn't know how to like cope with it because my family would tell me it wasn't real. Now, in yeah, sure, like people don't believe in this stuff, and sure, people don't really understand this stuff, but it is actually more real than what you think, than what a lot of people think. This is something that has been around forever, and you necessarily people don't know how to defend themselves from this. So there's people like me who do, and people like me who help people that don't know how to defend themselves, who don't know how to defend themselves against evil things, bad spirits, anything in that nature, demons, anything. Now, when I was little, I would always see these spirits in my house, and sure, I was little, so I didn't know how to like tell my family because my family would always tell me, "Oh no, it's we're not talking about anything. Like they would talk about scary stories. Oh, this happened to me the night before, and this and that. Like, but to us little kids, to the kids, they would be like, "Oh no, we're not talking about anything. That doesn't exist. We were just talking." As I'm sure a lot of you do with your kids, or a lot of you do to just for yourself because you don't want to believe in this stuff, but you're experiencing things. So I believe that okay, this stuff doesn't exist. Okay, whatever. So every night I would wake up and there would be someone sitting in the corner of my bed, and I would always freak out because it was always someone new, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, I'm a beacon for this stuff. I have I have that light that draws them in because they know we can help. They know those spirits that are trapped know that we can help. And those entities, those evil entities that prey on people who they want to possess, they prey on people like us too because we have that energy that they want. If they could possess one of us, if they could take one of us, we will give them so much power. But we are also naturally protected most of the time. So no fear right there. So anyways, I would wake up in the night and there would always be something sitting in the corner of my bed or someone staring at me from the other side of the room. Normally when it was something bad, they would like stare at me from far away. They wouldn't get close to me. So when I was little, I would have these experiences, and I didn't know how to tell my parents. And that wasn't the only thing though. It was more like I was dreaming the future and like things were happening that I was dreaming of, and like I didn't know how to tell my parents, and my parents, according to them, this stuff didn't exist. But one day, I people there's actually a sketch of this thing that I saw, and this thing is very dangerous. So don't think about it too much. Don't think about it too much because you're it's like you're calling it to you. So this thing is very powerful, very very powerful, and for some reason it wanted me when I was little. It visited me once. I don't know if it was because I was protected and my guardians protected me. I don't remember. I don't know. I was a little kid. But it visited me once. There I was laying in the bed, and the door opens to my room. Now, when I was little, I used to share the room with my parents. I used to sleep with my parents because we didn't have money, as you can say, we were poor, and so my parents weren't there that day. But I was laying in my bed and I woke up. It was around 3 in the morning, like right about to hit 3 in the morning. My family always has always woken up at 3 in the morning, and it's all right. It's figured it out. So it was about to hit 3 in the morning, and I see the door open, and I'm like, what's going on? I've never experienced what I was feeling in that moment. I was feeling terrified. I was feeling scared. I was feeling like I was in danger. So the door opens, and this thing is standing there. This really tall shadow, dressed old school, like back in the days with like a top hat. I remember it had red glowing eyes, and it was just dressed in all black, but like an old school dress, like an old school outfit, like I said, something that you would wear with a top hat, like Abraham Lincoln or so. So he was wearing something like that, and he was staring at me from the door. Now this thing was so tall that it had to duck in order to come into my room. So it ducked, and as I believe, it probably was an open portal at that moment, and it walked through the portal, and you used a door, and it walked through, and it stared at me for a couple seconds. I was so terrified that I put the blanket over me, and once I put the blanket over me, I was like, oh my God, I hope this is fake. I hope this is fake. I was praying. I was like terrified, and I uncovered myself. Well, there he was, standing next to my bed. He was standing next to my bed, staring at me. To this day, I don't know what he wanted at that moment. Well, actually, scratch that. I do know what he wanted. He wanted my light. He wanted my energy. He wanted the power that he could obtain if he takes me. And let's just say that was not the last time that I've dealt with him. That is not the last time or the first time. That was the first time, but it wasn't the last time. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So he was standing there next to my bed, and I'm freaking out, and sure enough, that way he looked, that was just a disguise to get close, for me not to really be terrified. Because once he got close, I could see his eyes that were glowing red, and I could see that half of his body was actually goat legs. And ever since that day, like, I had always wondered, what the hell? What was that? Because once I saw that, I covered myself with the blanket again, and I took it off, and oh my goodness, like it was gone. Thankfully, it was gone. It only stood there for a couple minutes, but I'm assuming it was my protection, my guardians that helped me out, or something must have helped me out because it didn't do anything to me. It just stared at me and watched me as I was laying there terrified. And at first I was like, oh no, it must have been like my imagination. Like it had to be my imagination. But a couple days later, I was in school and my elementary school teacher, she was telling a story. She was telling a story about this thing that she was seeing. It was like towards the end of elementary. It was probably like fifth grade. I don't really remember that well. I think it was like towards the end of fifth grade. And she was telling this scary story about her seeing this thing, this apparition, this entity, right? And she starts describing it. She starts talking about it, and I'm thinking, oh my, this sounds kind of like the thing I saw. Sure enough, she describes him exactly the same way that I saw him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one that's seen this thing. So even then, I was still doubting myself. But the more like time went on, the more that I opened up and I told people about this, and the more that I found out that other people have seen this apparition, this entity. Like I said, that wasn't the last time I dealt with him, but the most recent time that I've dealt with him, it's actually been pretty recent. It wasn't that long ago. It was probably last. No, actually, it was this year. January, I believe. It was in January. It really, he really, he really doesn't like me. Let's just say that. So yeah, that was the picture. So if you've seen him, send me a message, send me a comment. If it's bothering you, if it's really bothering you, contact me, and I promise you I will help. We'll talk. We'll see what we can do. I will tell you. I will guide you. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. But if you do see him, don't fear him. That's what they want. They want you to fear them. So thank you. See you next time.